Good afternoon and welcome back to MG Sports TV here. Have the second game of match day 2 in the KFC U18 Elite Cup. The second game will be taking place between Mobay Utd and Kingston Football Academy. And just as it was in the first game, it's a contrast of early fortunes here, as Kingston Football Academy won their first game in quite convincing fashion, really. 4-1, dispatching Ballers Academy, whereas Mobay Utd succumbed to a 2-0 defeat by winners Harbour View, who just won their second game of the day in a less than exciting game, I might add, against Portmore United, but nevertheless they got the victory. And that's all really that they'll be United and Kingston Football Academy entertained with, or just as it was be focused on. It's a contrast of, and as we can just early fortunes the lineups here quite quickly. In goal for Mobay Utd, we have Najani Blair, and we have Kimani McLean, Jaquan Dixon, Khalid Fraser, Tyrese Scott, Christopher Allen, Nicholas Fletcher, Garnet Gladstone, Carlando Morris, of course, under 15 representative for Jamaica, and the Costa Cup standout for Cornell College. There's also Crisano Lawrence, Shaheem Bernard, Junio Harris, and that's all really that they'll. Well, my apologies. Lawrence and Bernard and Harris are on the bench today. Jaquan Dixon completes the lineup. Kingston Football Academy's lineup reads Javier Coke in goal as usual. Romeo Henry back into the team, as we mentioned before. Romeo Henry, Fraser, Tyrese Scott, Christopher Allen, Nicholas Fletcher, qualification process, Gladstone for the World Cup Morris, of course, on the 5th held in Jamaica later this year, and the Costa Cup standout for Cornell College. Kevon Adlam, Jair Haynes, Shaheem Bernard, Kishan Lewis, Miles Hanna, Robinho Morgan, Kivario White, who captains the team. My apologies. Lawrence, Bernard, and Harris, Donna Myers, and Jaquan Dixon. Complex lineup. Kingston Football Academy's lineup reads still Javier Coke, no Jadine Morgan, as we get the game underway. Romeo Henry back into the Morgan team, as we mentioned before. Romeo Henry, Kingston Football Academy, Tyrese Scott, Christopher Allen, Nicholas Fletcher, Jamon Niles, Gladstone for the World Cup Morris, of course, on the 5th held in Academy later this year. Obviously, in terms of who he's playing for, Kevon Adlam, Jair Haynes, and recently moved to Sean Lewis, Miles Hanna, Robinho Morgan. That is something to consider as to why. My apologies. He's not Lawrence, Bernard, and Harris, Donna Myers, and Fraser play here. Number of changes made by Mobay Utd, catching up with still their coach Rondine Robinson over the summer break, and he mentioned that a reason as to why perhaps Mobay Utd did so poorly last year in terms of results was that they had a number of players that they wanted to include in the squad that weren't able to make themselves available in terms of who he's playing for. Adlam, Jair Haynes, got a number of new faces, not just today, but over the course of these opening games. And Adlam loses out there to Fraser, Dixon, and that's a foul. Changes made by Mobay Utd, catching up with Jair Haynes, of course, Rondine Robinson over the standout players in the competition. Mentioned that a reason as to why perhaps playing in the same position, of course, as well. They'll be hoping to do that. Jersey Justice didn't necessarily give the greatest of performances in the previous game, but he'll be hoping to rebound here and puts a Jair Haynes got a number of new faces to take down by not just today, but over the course of these opening games. And Adlam loses out there to Fraser, Dixon, and that's a foul. Catching there by number 18, standout players in the competition. Mentioned that Kevon Adlam, but ball goes all the way around now for Mobay Utd. Kingston Football Academy, Jersey Justice didn't necessarily give the greatest of performances after well work there. Carlando Morris going from the distance, bound here and trying to score there. Right summer range, trying to catch the keeper off guard there, unable to, but he will be hoping to add to his tally in this competition. Only scored about 2 goals last year, which do anything, you know anything about Morris? Game wasn't fantastic either, but had spurts of flashes of brilliance in the first game. He was hoping to put it all together and hopefully get a goal in this one. Now here's Will White.
Connor Morris!
In the absence of J.D. Morgan. Found here and trying to strike from distance. Trying to Najani Blair off guard there, unable to, but off guard there, but unable to. Of course, as I've mentioned before, in this competition, only scored about 2 goals last year, which I mentioned before in the previous game that for me he was undoubtedly the standout goalkeeper last year, but had spurts of flashes of brilliance. Of course, the Mario Harewood of Cavalier was very impressive.
Connor Morris!
No doubt, but absence of Blair single-handedly at times kept Montego United. Strike from distance, trying to Najani Blair off guard there, unable to. Scott off guard there, but unable to. Of course, as I've mentioned before, in this competition, only scored a number of goals last year. Players who were regular starters last year. Mentioned before in the previous game that even making the team for Montego United, they'll be hoping that last year had improvements in terms of names, make an improvement in terms of results. Now it's Christopher Allen trying to feed, very impressive.
Morris!
No doubt, he himself showed some amazing flashes of brilliance last year. His pace and skill excite, but his decision making at times does leaves room to wonder about his maturity in the final third. Adlam trying to find Hay. Away Fraser, lovely tackle there. For Montego United. Nicholas Fletcher hoping that he finds Gladstone. Spins, turns in terms of aims wide for Tyree Scott. Improvement in terms of results. Now it's Christopher Allen trying to wide, very impressive.
Morris!
And that will be a throw-in. He himself showed some amazing flashes of brilliance last year, evading. His pace and skill excite, but his decision, he made contact with his boot out of undoubtedly being a foul. Leaves room to wonder about his maturity in the final third. Again, Adlam trying to find Tyler Faulkner will have to be settling for the bench here. Montego United. Nicholas Fletcher hoping that he finds Gladstone. There's Anglin, 1v1 with Smith. Trying to beat Adlam rather. And that's ball for a goal kick. That's the ball ricochets off of him there. And they just think that if Anglin can put it all together with his level of skill and pace and trickery, I really think if he puts it all together and matures in front of goal, he could become really one of the best players in his position on that side of the island. And make even a stake for a claim in the squad, at least, of the senior team. There's Anglin, turns. Away from one. Has a shot from distance, but that's over the bar. And that will go out for a goal kick. Football's Academy's coach Eric Rademacher's recently made news as he was on the TVG Sports Live primetime news for an interview conducted while he was at the airport welcoming home 3 of his players from the under-17 Reggae Boyz qualification for the aforementioned World Cup in Qatar later this year. Cross coming in from Adlam, blocked there. But Rademacher's, while he congratulated his players, good cross coming in from Morgan, but unable to meet Hay. Well, Hannah rather, and that would be a corner kick. This was deflected away, believed by Tyree Scott. Unable to meet Hay. And Eric Eric Rademacher, as I said before. Just speaking on the development of young players in the country, and lamented the focus being at times at the schoolboy level being too much on winning. But of course, if he gets a win here, he'd love that. And that cross won't really go towards that. Not the greatest of crosses in the world, and that'll be a goal kick to Montego Bay United. But I tend to agree with his viewpoint at large that at times we in Jamaica favor winning above all in terms of development, and that is why predominantly the league is still seen not necessarily in the most favorable of light. It was affected away because the quality of the players isn't the greatest when it compared to the international stage. But it's angling a lot of a player who has that talent to become one of those players, but it's cleared by Robinho Morgan. Jamaica. I have to say, do I commend Eric Rademacher because he practices what he preaches. He's always been about development. And win, lose, or draw, you can always see improvement in his team. He always produces quality players from his academy, Kingston Football Academy. And you see that already with, as I mentioned before, 3 of his players being called up for the national team. And one of them getting a move to the Jamaican Premier League. Jamon Lyle, that is. Ball played upfield towards Miles Hanna. Lays it off. There, the skipper. Well, not skipper. Hey, lovely pass into the path of the actual skipper, that is, Cavario White, but couldn't find him. Oh, lovely turn by Lewis. Gets past his man, lays it off for White. Shot comes in, and that's saved at the near post there by Blair. Sharp one as well. Yet another set piece for KFA here. They've been putting Montego Bay United under pressure, really, who have had to settle for flashes of counter-attacks and feeding on scraps thus far in the opening 10 minutes of the game. Corner comes in swinger, causing some problems, and it looks like it's headed in by Miles Hanna. Not the cleanest of strikes, but he won't care. Montego Bay United again behind early. Cross came in from Cavario White there, and the red bodies were converging, and you can see the replay here. And I have to say, that's poor goalkeeping as well from Najani Blair. His acrobatics are exceptional, but he needed to really command his box, make his presence felt at that near post. Of course, you can also look at the defenders who really should have dealt with that. No one reacting quickly enough, but Blair, as the goalkeeper, had to command his box a bit better, make your presence felt, especially with your height and size. But nevertheless, Montego Bay United, unfortunately, are down 1-0 due to a goal that was preventable, at least in my book. Foul there on Christopher Allen, and that will be a free kick to Montego Bay United. It seems like going over the take will be the number 6, Nicholas Fletcher.
20 in the back! Thank you, Jair.
Fletcher to take. Delivery Cummings in, and that's headed over by Gladstone, who just couldn't keep it down, and that's headed over for a goal kick to KFA. Fletcher to take. Quick replay of that. Cummings in, That's header over by Gladstone. Didn't even know too much about the header, really. Had his eyes closed the entire time. Robina Morgan, dangerous young winger. Had a great game last time out. And a beautiful tackle there. And Tyree Scott is fouled. A number of the Montego United players coming from Cornwall College would also have a couple from Malden, being Kimani McLean and Javon Anglin, as well as Gladstone, who's a regular for St. James High. It's KFA now on the attack, and number 17 there. It's brought down. That'll be a free kick in the middle of the park. Rylan Campbell. Adlam to Henry. National representative, of course, as mentioned before. Marion Smith out wide to back to Campbell. Henry. Lovely ball out wide to Morgan. Good switch of the play. He has Hay in space. Finds him. Scott ups not to go for him. Cross comes in. Looking towards the back post, but unable to find a teammate, and not the best of clearances, and that's only as far as Adlam. Hay. Carries Scott. Scott turns beautifully, pirouettes, but loses the ball. Oh, good turn there by Adlam to Henry. 1-2 there. A shot from distance, but it's blocked by Khalid Fraser. He actually loses the ball here in a dangerous area, but thankfully for him, Nicholas Fletcher is on hand to clean up. And Ravina Morgan collects that one in the middle of the park. And Christina Myers stand out at the back last season against position, and now here's Marion Smith looking out wide towards Campbell, unable to find him. It's cleared downfield by Jaquan Dixon.
What's up, Jaya? Good? I was looking for you. I'm wondering if you were here again today, you know. Love the pictures last time.
KFA loses the ball. Oh, lovely skill there from Montego United, trying to find Morris. Has acres of space, really, but no one in support. And Allen back to Morris, but that's cleared by Smith.
Hello, hello, take a picture to smile. Click. That's a guy. Take it back.
It's Campbell now on that left hand side to take the throw for KFA. 17 minutes just about gone, and so far KFA have had it all their own way, really. Dominated the position and of course opened the scoring through Miles Hanna. Gladstone gains position to Fraser. Good pass back to Gladstone. Flying key defender getting out wide there to Dixon. Good pass inside for Gladstone. Back to Morris.
Take it right there.
And he loses possession there. But that's a foul to KFA. Ryland to take. Throw in rather. My apologies. Lewis. Cut out there by Christopher Allen. Gladstone trying to find angling, but that's cut out dutifully. Henry skips away from Morris. Looking long, trying to find Lewis, it seems, or Campbell, actually on that left-hand side, who's 1v1 isolated with Dixon. Beats him beautifully, takes him down the line, cross comes in, and Jair Hay met it actually, but seems the connection wasn't as clean as he wanted to be, and that would be a goal kick. But here's the replay. Lovely skill, change of pace there from Rylan Campbell. Got that cross in, but Jair Hay couldn't quite direct it goalward. McLean gets away from Morgan. Angling back to McLean. He runs out of space and ball's out of touch as well. Miles Hanna will have to give the ball back to Montego Bay United as fall through. Or actually, it seems perhaps the wrong decision was made at first in terms of whose throw it was. And no, I was correct actually. It was a foul throw because yet another foul throw has resulted in a change of position. Again, a mistake you just don't typically see at this level. Shouldn't expect to see it, especially with this regularity. Something that the coaches will need to work on. It's a waste of an opportunity. Clean. Pressure. First touch letting him down. And Smith getting out wide there. Adlam rather getting out wide to Myers. Finally finds Campbell. Has Henry. And Henry, despite being under duress from two defenders, somehow retains possession. Didn't even need the whistle because he's just that good on the ball. And that is why he represents our national team. Albeit at the under 17 level, but that is why he's a national representative, folks. Calm on the pressure. Communication among these young players has been a sight to behold. I like when young players are assertive and talk the game. It's a big mistake that is made really in any aspect of life. Communication, the lack thereof will always kill you, whether you be playing in a band or you have a group assignment to complete. But especially on the football field, talking is imperative among the youngsters. Let you know who's on and who's not. And KFA exemplify that ability there. Always ready to let each other know what's the next move to make. And as we just take this short water break here in the 21st minute, the referee signals players to come back on. Of course, it's just a reminder that on a hot day like this, even at 2:40 p.m., players must be rehydrated, have to take care of their bodies. Of course, hot climate here in Jamaica, it's imperative that they stay hydrated, the youngsters. Morgan back heels it, but not to a teammate actually. And he loses it again to Morgan. Leaves it for Hay. Does well to skip away from Gladstone, but Gladstone fouls him. And Hay wanted to play on there, but the referee says, nah, let's come back for a foul there. And there you have a just a replay of the foul. Shoved him to the ground really. Hay will be perhaps looking to find Hannah in the box. And the finds someone at the back post, and Johnny Blair came rushing out of his goal, but it seems he's made contact with Kevario White, and of course he'll have to stop play as it is a head collision, and we know the protocol surrounding injuries like that or collisions like that. Never good to see. And there you just have a replay of that. Blair came a bit late, but nevertheless got all the ball, but caught some of Kevario White as well. Of course, there we have a look at the goal scorer there, Miles Hanna, who opened the scoring from the corner kick from Kevario White. It was a scrappy goal, really, a header at the near post that should have been defended better, really, by Montego Bay United, but he won't care how it's coming. He'll just know that he has 2 goals in 2 games, and honestly, he's been playing pretty much like a typical number 9 throughout the course of this competition thus far. Of course, he played some games, a couple of games last season. He was always a regular fixture off the bench, but wasn't able to have the sort of impact that he would have liked. Of course, had a number of players in front of him, but this year it seems that he's grown, not just in stature, but in regards to his footballing ability, and that's why he's been made a starter this year, and he's got 2 goals in 2 games now. Both of them opportunistic in nature, capitalizing on a mistake last week from Devontae Horton, and this time rising highest to meet a corner from his teammate. Corner which Montego Bay United will lament dealing with quite poorly, and they've actually lost the ball here. Shot from distance, but couldn't guide it on target, and yet another player down to the ground. Here we have it, another look at that chance. Number 6 there, Nicholas Fletcher, had a go from distance, not able to really make a clean connection with it, however. And it seems that number 13, Jaquan Dixon, is down for Montego Bay United. And in case they were to make a change, most likely would be perhaps either Cristiano Lawrence or maybe even Fogan off the bench. It seems that there will be a change made, and I was right, it is Lawrence who will be the one coming on for him, and Montego Bay United will hate that they've been forced into a change this early, but it is one that they'll have to make whether they like to or not. And Jaquan Dixon replaced here by Cristiano Lawrence, and not only a goal down, but they're down one of their starters as well. White pulls down Lawrence there, and that will be a free kick to Montego Bay United. Dixon to Morris, looks wide, trying to find Anglin, who has the beating there of Adlam with the pace and strength that he has. Has Nicholas Fletcher available, opts not to use him, crosses into the box, looking out wide for, I believe that's Amici Robinson, who cannot keep it in play, and that will go out for a throw-in.
come around. Hey. Scratch it now, man. No, man. Come look at it.
And Montego United bring the ball high up the pitch there. Morris looking for Anglin, but Adlam deals with that quite comfortably. Fletcher heads it over to Anglin. Anglin. Oh, powerful strike. And that one was, I thought it had a touch on it from Javerico, but referee says no. Hit the side netting, and that will be a goal kick.
At them slide. Up.
Linesman raises his flag for a throw in there, and seems Montego United also have another player down. And that player is Tyree Scott, who I believe I called in his place check on Dixon a while ago. My bad. Down in some pain. He'll be hoping that he can get some assistance soon.
No, man, that up here, as in,
Mount Pleasant, of course, getting ready as is preparing as they will be the next and final game of our usual 3-match slate in this the under 18 KFC elite competition. Mount Pleasant will be taking on in the final game of the day Ballers Academy, who struggled mightily last year, and it'd be a battle between first and fifth. Of course, Daniel Thomas was one of the better players in the competition last year, but struggled really in games of this sort of magnitude, so we'll be looking to see if he can rise to the occasion. He has the skill on the ball, the passing range, the set pieces, but we'll see if we can cope with the physicality of Mount Pleasant's defense. And Rashawn Williams could so easily have one man of the match in the last game, but Samuel Taylor just had too good of a performance. Morris battling up front, pulled down to the ground, looking for a foul. None coming. And KFA can move forward, but the clearance went as far as Commander McLean, who was allowed to restart position as there was a handball by Miles Hannah. And McLean hacked down by Hannah. And that will be another free kick to Mobay United. Fraser looking long for Morris. Can he get to it? Yes, he does.
Not there. Cover.
Looks for Anglin, but it actually finds Allen. Christopher Allen turning. Finds Nicholas Fletcher. Anglin spins out of trouble. Trying to find Amici Robinson out wide. Eventually does. And a shot from distance! Oh, what a goal! Christopher Allen! A bolt from the blue. Out of nowhere, really unleashed a venomous strike into the top hand corner. Javier Coke barely knew what hit him there, Coke, in the goal. Look at that for a strike. Robinson. Suggestions of a foul there by Robinson after he kicked the KFA player, but ball made its way eventually to Allen, who unleashed a goal from his dreams there to level the scoring for Montego United, but now he's Anglin on the counter. Again, terrorizing this defense, had a part to play in that first goal, and he'll be seeking to help double the lead here. The Malden High standout. And that's headed away by Tyree Scott for a throw-in to KFA. Montego United struggled mightily in front of goal last year, despite all the talent at their disposal. in those forward areas. In particular, of course, as I mentioned before, and under 15 representative Colin Morris, who was one of the top scorers when Jamaica won the Caribbean Cup. And also hit double figures for Cornwall College 2 years ago in the Da Costa Cup at just 14 years old. Tremendous talent. We'll be hoping to see the best of him this year around. He didn't really give a great account of himself last season, but he has the talent, he has the height, he has the intelligence. I'm expecting him to do better. Has the propensity to. Watched him in a competition in Montego Bay last year. Right off the back of that Caribbean Cup Championship, come back for Cornwall College and won the competition for them. It was a one-day tournament in Montego Bay, and he was absolutely sensational in the final and the semi-finals. They beat Froome, of course, 2-0 in that final, and Colin Morris, man, something special. Has quite a strike on him as well. Interestingly enough, he reminds me with his height and build of Victor Gyökeres of Arsenal, and I'm sure MG will like that comparison. Adlam, beautiful ball across the face of the box, no one able to meet it, but there is McLean. A lovely ball comes into Morgan, and he's met it, and KFA retake the lead. 2-1 to KFA. Folks, the game's heating up here. If last game was a bit too boring for you in terms of goal-mouth action, this one certainly hasn't been. Ball across the face from Adlam, out wide to, I said McLean, but my apologies, it's Rylan Campbell, whose delivery has been great all game. Fantastic goal. The strike wasn't the cleanest from Morgan, but nevertheless, put it into the bottom corner where Blair was unable to do anything about it, and that will be 2-1 to KFA. Lawrence trying to keep that in play, but unable to, and that will be a throw into Kingston Football Academy, who weren't level for long. Retake the lead here, and with just about 10 minutes to go in this half, and they can count themselves a deserving victor if the result remains the same. They've been the better of the two teams, but Montego Bay United have acquitted themselves quite well, displaying some good confidence in going forward. And there's a foul there on Nicholas Fletcher, who had a part to play in that goal. Morgan wins the ball back here. Rummy Henry. Oh, lovely turn. And again, folks, that's why he's a national representative. Calm and composed on the ball. Adlam into the path of Morgan. Ooh. Adlam wanted the return pass from, but Morgan had his head down on the ground and eventually lost the ball. That will be a throw in to Montego Bay United. Now here's Adlam, wins the ball back. Trying to get in front of Gladstone, clears. Now it's Colin Morris. Colin Morris, oh, lovely pass, trying to find Allen, but that's booted clear from, I believe that's Damarian Smith, and And that will be a corner kick, or a throw-in rather, to Montego United. Now here's Morris, the Cornwall College representative. Cross comes in from Allen, the goal scorer, and that's headed away from KFA. Booted clear. McLean, Anglin. He has Adlam 1v1 on the left-hand side. Cuts back. Fancy footwork in the wide and beats him again. Cuts back again. Cross comes in. Dangerous area. Unable to find Morris. And now here's Fletcher. Oh, beats his man but loses the ball there. So Kevario White, now here's Gladstone. Held on there, but referee says play on. Fletcher again. Finds Anglin out wide. Who had space and time to whip a crossing, but opts to cut back. And has a shot from distance. Not sure if he was trying to shoot or trying to cross that from Morris, but nevertheless it's gone all the way through. Harmlessly, I might add, to the goalkeeper. And there's KFA on the attack here. There's Miles Hanna through on goal. Stopped in his tracks by Cristiano Lawrence. However, whose defensive partner Tyree Scott prevented Miles Hanna from capitalizing. And there's Morris. Deep one-on-one with Cristiano Myers. Oh, good turn there by Allen, but couldn't quite trap it. Now here's Morris, gets it back. Trying to find Anglin out wide. He does. Has Smith 1v1, Adlam rather. And I suppose no one's really going to argue handball for that one. Almost definitely didn't touch his hand. And Hanna trying to find Morgan. And Tyree Scott gone to ground on a number of occasions so far in this game to win the ball back for his team, and on that occasion not able to regain possession, but at least earn some reprieve for Montego United. That will be a throw to KFA there. Morgan. Smith. Under pressure from Morris, loses the ball. Here's Gladstone. Coming up into the midfield area, the defender. McLean. Scott. Spinning away in his area there. 3 minutes about to be added to the half. It seems that the suggestion from Aramakers from last week in terms of instituting 40-minute halves in this competition has actually bore fruit, and that's perhaps why the referee blew at the 88th minute in the last game between Harbourview and Portmore United. Oh, the skill there from number 16 there, Omi Henry, but eventually lost the ball, and that will be a throw-in to KFA, which Keyshawn Lewis will go over to take. But nevertheless, just 3 minutes to go in this one. I have to say it's been an exciting game. KFA, of course, taking the lead. If you're just joining us, folks, here on MG Sports, KFA took the lead early in the game through Miles Hanna with a header from a corner from Kevario White. Only for Christopher Allen to unleash a thunderbolt to equalize. And then later on, Rylan Campbell cutting back after a cross from Kevon Adlam, and with that one into Robinho Morgan to finish, and that's headed away by Scott there. That will be a corner kick to KFA. Robinho Morgan, most definitely one of the better players in his position last year, and again he's proving to be quite a handful for defenders. 2 goals in 2 games already. KFA putting some pressure on Johnny Blair there in that box, but the set piece wasn't good enough for it to really make a difference, and that will go all the way through past Cristiano Myers, and a throw into Montego United, who just under a minute to go in this half can say they've acquitted themselves well in terms of creating chances, and of course did eventually temporarily equalize, but I think at this point all that's gonna matter is the result. Of course, as Eric Rademacher's so eloquently put it on TV during the week, of course you care about the development, but I think in Montego United's case, they'll take a win, given everything that happened last year. But now he's angling with an opportunity to do just that. Trying to cross for Morris, but the cross just wasn't accurate enough, and that will be easy for Javier Cook to claim. Farid most likely getting ready to blow his whistle. And he does. And that will be the end of the first half here at the Mount Pleasant Academy field as Kingston Football Academy take a 2-1 lead into the break, courtesy of goals from Miles Hanna and Rubinho Morgan. Montego United also scored, of course, thanks to Christopher Allen's wonder strike, a contender for goal of the season, really. But unfortunately, it wasn't enough, as eventually Morgan hit back for the team in red and black from Kingston. But in this clash between the east and the west of the island, it seems that the east have been victorious, at least in the first 40 minutes of this game. But stay tuned, folks. Another 40 minutes or so of play to go in this one. Can rejoin us after the break.
No. You want me about I old-fashioned name, you know. Ah, bro. Cardboard.
I think so. Remember to clear out the dressing room after, yeah?
Yeah, but we're going to send the subs in.
Mind the coach as well to clear the dressing room after. forward and then made start.
Back one. Good. When oh, you can get it. Scotty! Scotty, you find them! Hang on. Scotty!
Referee, watch him man block the goalkeeper.
No.
What do you mean, no?
Keeper. So the man block the keeper. Hold on now. Man block the keeper, right? And the fella them move it right here. So I think I drop it to the man come keep on here for the night goal. No. The man block the keeper first, right? At first, you know, we know I'm just a black keeper, so you deal with that. But then after I people that keep at first. Fish man. Get one in, come to the side.
Come on, Nicholas, harder half. Good?
And welcome back to NG Sports TV. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for returning with us for live coverage of the KFC Under 18 League Cup. The second half is about to resume here on match day 2, the second game of our 3-game slate between Kingston Football Academy and Montego United. As you can see on the scoreboard, ladies and gentlemen, Kingston Football Academy currently lead 2-1 thanks to goals from Miles Hanna and Robinho Morgan in the first half. Christopher Allen momentarily equalized for Montego United for the wonder strike, really, but unfortunately for them, Robinho Morgan was on hand at the back post to tap in from a wonderful cross from Ryan Campbell. That's been a separator for the two teams, and as we commence the second half, Montego United will be still looking for their first point of the campaign. And we're on the way again, folks. Montego United will be looking to begin this half better than they did last one. Ms. Fraser. Of course, for those who perhaps may not be aware, Kevonte Gooden, who was a heavily featured player for Montego United, the number 11 from Cornwall College, was one of the real surprise players last year in the competition. Had about 3 goals for Montego United, or 2. Good young skillful winger. Has not played the last couple of games. Don't know if we'll be able to see him moving forward either. We'll await word on that. Santa Lawrence will just shut that out, and that'll be a free kick as Jair Healy falls in. But Kevonte Gooden, must say, definitely one of our favorites here on the channel to watch last year. Tyrese Scott wins a free kick as well. He's been really, really good in the first half. Yes, he's conceded 2 goals, but individually in duels, he's been fantastic. That stocky frame of his, even at a shorter height for a defender, has made him an absolute unit at the back. Scott clears it upfield, but goes for a throw in to Kingston Football Academy. Ryan Campbell played pretty well in the first half, sung his praises last year as well. Was one of the standout players at the left back position last year. But he's such a versatile player. Seen him play further forward on many occasions for KFA at left wing at times, or left wing back. Sometimes saw him invert in the first game, playing as a central midfielder. He's so technically gifted, so versatile, so intelligent. And speaking of intelligence, here's Givario White with a pass to Robinho Morgan, looking for Lewis in the box. Poor clearance by Lawrence, but eventually does get it clear. Hey, trying to beat Fraser, who eventually wins it back, but pass going awry. Robinson, however, trying to find Morris, but Campbell again on hand. Lewis. Loses the ball there, and that'll be a throw into Montego United. Just first couple of open minutes here for KFA have been a bit shaky. Look a bit rattled really, but here's Romy Henry, who is never rattled. Calm, composed in the middle of the park. Brilliant skill on the ball. Let's throw into Morgan. Trying to turn out of danger there, but that will be a throw into Montego United. Actually, to deflection there, and that will be thrown to KFA rather. Long throw in, looking towards White, unable to find him, and that's cleared by Scott. Myers trying to find Hay there, but a good turn from Gladstone away from danger. And now here's McLean. trying to find Anglin, but fortunately couldn't find him, and that will be a throw-in back the way of KFA. Ooh, push in the back of Kavario White there by Christopher Allen, Montego United's goal scorer on the day. And the ball played early to Ryland Campbell. Has Lewis out wide. Opts not to go for him. A strike from distance. A strong weak foot there, but strong foot there. Rather, was Allen looking for Morris into space down that right hand side into the channel. 1v1 with Myers. Good cross. Finds Anglin. Shot it first time for some reason, and he did get it on target, however. And that will be forcing a save from Javier Cook, as we can observe here in this replay. What a cross from Colin Morris. Good technique, and could say something similar about the technique for Anglin there, but not able to generate the power on it that he would have wanted. Fraser finds Allen out wide for Anglin. Can he return the favor to Morris? Cuts inside, spins back, shots, and that is wide and high. And Christopher Allen lamenting that decision as we look back at the replay of that chance there. And I've noticed, I have to say, I have noticed that, as I mentioned before in the first half, his maturity in front of goal. It's been quite visible that over the last 2 games, and even when he was playing for Malden, that his teammates do have an issue with him at times, being a bit selfish, not dissimilar to some of the complaints levied at players similar to him in terms of build and play style. Ronaldo Cephas has his pace, has the skill, just sometimes the decision making not the greatest. Oh, lovely pass in behind for Colin de Morris, just couldn't quite get to it in time. And actually, he was onside. If he had gotten to that, he could have perhaps had a shot on goal. Lewis trying to find Hay, trying to not make Gladstone there on the left-hand side, but says there'll be none of that, and there'll be a throw into KFA. Ryland Campbell will be going over to take, and as he goes to take that throw in, coach Rondin Robinson for Montego United has just sent over 2 of his players to get warmed up. Khalid Fraser sends Anglin on his way. He has Kevon Adlam there out on the left hand side, all alone, isolated. And we want to take him on with his pace and skill. Settles for a cross. Unable to find Amisha Robinson, and they'll go all the way through to Sean Lewis. I thought it was a clean tackle there by Morris, but the referee says no, and Cristiano Myers will switch the play now to Robinho Morgan. KFA on that right hand side come forward. Leading to Kavario White. Good turn. Morgan trying to feed Miles Hanna, but Gladstone takes it away. Oh, lovely bit of skill there from Gladstone. Nice little La Croqueta there. Andres Iniesta move. Lovely ball from Hay as he wins the ball back. Miles Hanna, and that's trickled in for 3. KFA 3 goals to 1 up now. Miles Hanna with his 2nd of the game. It looks like Montego United were going to progress out of the back there, but they lost the ball, and in an instant, Jair Hay was on them and slipped in a lovely pass to Miles Hanna, who squeaked that in between the legs of Najani Blair.
Yeah.
Seems that Radamacos is calling urgently for some medical attention to Miles Hanna. And he may just make a substitution here, of course. They're 3-1 up. Yes, there's a lot of time to go. About 35 to be exact. 35 minutes, that is. But you want to protect his player there. Seeing if he can get him some rest. For now, KFA will be playing temporarily with 10 men. Of course, that recent goal does make Hanna the top scorer in this competition with 3 goals. His teammate Robinho Morgan has 2. Cristiano Lawrence could cut back there to beat 2 players, both White and Morgan. Lewis, I should say. Fletcher out wide to Morris. Unusual starting position for the number 9, but nevertheless had to do what he had to do. Now Fraser back to Fletcher. Into Gladstone. Further forward than we're used to seeing him, the defender. But his skill on the ball is unmatched at this position. But not on show there as he gave the ball away cheaply. And that will be a throw in to KFA. And since changes will be made official, 2 players will be coming on. 2 players each, really, for both teams. Team signed Kashiner, who was named man of the match in the last game for KFA. He'll be coming back into the team, not necessarily starting line, but he'll come back into the team, and he'll be coming on for, it seems, Jair Hay. While Miles Hanna will also be replaced. Seems to be replaced by number 6, Kakamari McCoy. Lewis, of course, Morgan, the usual wide players. Montego United have also made 2 changes. Sandini Masado coming on for Amici Robinson, who got the assist for the goal in the first half by Christopher Allen. Javon Anglin, he's also, much to his own dismay, been substituted in his place. Come on, number 18, Michael Fogan. Kishinro out wide. Smith to McCoy, turns away from his man there. Oh, lovely switch of the play, aiming towards Lewis. Can they make it 4 here? Oh, good touch, but referee's blown for a penalty. He did well to get that touch beyond Lawrence. He got to the ball first, most definitely, but it seems that in the aftermath, Lawrence got Lewis, and most definitely a penalty. And Lewis has his head in his shirt. He's in agonizing pain as the medical staff will tend to him now. And number 14 for Montego United is being summoned. Actually, number 8, rather, Shaheem Bernard, who's the usual starter, didn't start. But here we have the replay of the penalty to be. Cristiano Lawrence has to be more careful there. Can't stick out a boot that high. Poor decision, really, to go for it there in that position. Could have let the ball bounce first, but instead he's caught Keyshawn Lewis, and quickly this game has gotten away from Montego United. Did so well in the first half to get it back to 1-1. Unfortunately, before the break, lost another goal, and it seems that they've been unable to withstand the pressure that they've been put under by KFA, and early in the second half. They've conceded 2 goals. With Miles Hanna before he came off, scoring his second of the game, third of the tournament. While the other goal, my bad. Seems I can't do math. 2 + 1 = 3. So that was 1 goal that was scored in the second half.
Yeah, but you can't be right.
It seems Tyrese Scott has been substituted. And let's put away easily by Kevario White. And that will be 4 to Kingston Football Academy, who catch a dance before going back to the center circle. Just to look at the penalty here again. Johnny Blair in goal, not really known as a shot stopper, a penalty shot stopper. Did get a hand to it, went the right way, and he'll be mad at himself that he couldn't keep it out. But the scoreline reads KFA 4, MBU 1. He loses the ball in a dangerous position. Nicholas Fletcher back to Fraser, and he just boots that clear out of touch, and that will be a throw-in. And Keyshawn Lewis, following the foul earlier for the penalty, has gone to ground again, and that's most definitely the end of his evening. And Montego United, well, KFA's player number 7, Keyshawn Lewis, substituted there, and in his place will be number 14, Dominic Clark, who had a decent little cameo coming on. Had an assist, I believe, for the last goal of the game, last week's game against Boys Academy. Of course, that goal was scored by Tyler Faulkner. Well, my apologies. Dominic Clark scored the last goal, but it was set up by Tyler Faulkner. He'll be hoping to add to his tally here to make it 5. And that's booted out of play there by number 18. Gladstone, before we could even clear that, the referee blew, and that will be a infringement, and that will go to the way of Montego United. Johnny Blair clears on field, looking for Morris. KFA coming now with Clark.
Go inside again,
Here's Myers. Returned by Henry.
Watch the line, watch the line.
Smith.
All right, the line is
Out
good
wide
now.
to Adlam.
The line good.
Looking long, trying to find Morgan, unable to find him, but seems Gladstone was comfortably able to deal with that one and wins a throw off of Ryan Campbell there. Off of Kishinner, actually. KFA KFA just trying to work it around Mobay's defense. They were able to. And Gladstone hits that one clear. And only as far as Smith can restart the play now. Here's Henry.
Bob, you're good, you're good, you're good.
Myers. Smith.
Watch the line, Bob.
Adam out wide. Fletcher was deemed by some teammates of KFA to have fouled Kishinra, but the referee says play on. McLean turning back in his own area there, but fortunately not made to pay there. And Gladstone raises his hand as he's almost certain that he's hit the ball off a KFA player there, and he's right, according to the linesman. Throw into Montego United. It's Gladstone. Just spoofs it downfield, and Cristiano Myers with KFA can just restart position. Smith. Myers. Ryan Campbell. KFA just beginning to settle in position. About 25 minutes to go. Quite certain of the win. Before that, could have go into Dominic Clark's path out wide. That was cut out by Christiana Lawrence, who was, of course, as you know, up fault for the fourth goalie penalty as he fouled Keyshawn Lewis in the box, which I thought would spell the end of the evening for Keyshawn Lewis as he later succumbed to that injury a few minutes later. Had to be substituted. I must say, for all Montego United's promise and some of the talent available, they must be disappointed, not just with the results that they've turned in, but in spurts. The performance really, no consistency, and really unable to formulate a reasonable strategy that can gain them the better of their opponents. Of course, not just last year, but this year so as well. And I must say, they're going to have a long, hard look at themselves for the rest of the year if they aim to get into that coveted playoff spot and earn a spot in the semi-finals, at the very least. Just look at this water break. It's quite a telling scoreline here. The scoreboard really says it all. It's been a dominant game by KFA. Montego United may have momentarily been back in it after that equalizer from Christopher Allen, which was, as I mentioned before, definitely a contender for goal this season. They were never really level in the truest sense of the game with KFA in terms of actual ability, in terms of how they were playing. Malik Cameron's throw, judged by some of the Montego United players to have been a foul throw, but the only opinion that matters is the referee, Henry. Plays it into his teammate there, McCoy. Gets it out wide. Henry, out wide to Adlam. Actually, that's Kobe Daly, it seems, who's come on in place of Adlam. Host of new changes made for both teams, and KFA reasonably so, as they're trying to just retain some fresh legs, considering they seem, with just about almost 20 minutes to go, have this result locked up, barring a catastrophe, really.
Next side, man.
Ball was cleared towards the number 18 there from Montego United, but that was poor, really. Summation, really, of their evening, that pass. And KFA can now regroup with Kobe Daly. Kashino, a bit deeper than we're used to seeing him, but nevertheless, Plays out from the back with Myers. Oh, lovely pass into the path there of McCoy, who loses the ball actually. Misado skips past his man there. Lovely feints there. Never really got past anyone, however. Gishino leaves that for his teammate McCoy. And good turn there. And leaves it for Gishino again. Into the path of his teammate here. White trying to set up Gishino for his second assist of the game, but unable to. But now here's White, picks his pocket to Gishino. Oh, trying to find Dominic Clark with Cristiano Lewis on this occasion. Went in it cleanly, but he loses the ball almost to Dominic Clark again. Morris has it on that right hand side. Trying to find Nicholas Fletcher, who has his hands raised to say, I didn't mean to push him that hard, but it is a foul. That most definitely is a free kick to KFA. To Daly. Cuts inside. Pass one, pass two, into the path of White. Round the goalkeeper. And that is 5. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to say, it's deserved. It is deserved. You can feel how they want to about it, but it is a deserved lead. Lovely build-up play there. Kobe Daly slipping that in for Cavaria White. Lovely finish as we see the replay. Manchester United waste position again, and KFA have another chance to regroup, and 12 minutes to go could reasonably look for 6 here. Shot there from Dominic Clark, trying to get on that one on target. Yes, he did, but he couldn't score. A bit too tame of an effort to really trouble on Johnny Blair. Cool, must say, it's been a torrid afternoon for him. Of course, you could point to the fact that his defenders haven't been great today, outside of Tyree Scott, who was eventually substituted. But nevertheless, as a goalkeeper, you have to learn to command the box, and he just hasn't done that. Hasn't commanded his back line well enough, in my opinion. His acrobatics are great, his reflexes are great, but he needs to work on the other fundamental aspects of being a goalkeeper, such as the vocal ability, being a leader of your back line, marshalling that defensive line, watching for high lines. Cross gonna come in now, but Gladstone does well there. Hope he doesn't give away a foul. And McLean wins it back. Gladstone moves that clear. And as far as Fletcher, however, looking for Morris. He's through on goal. Trying to get there ahead of Javier Coke, but ball was just a bit too much ahead of him. Just a reminder, folks, for those who are just joining, Montego United currently 5-1 down to KFA And as we approach just 15 minutes to go in, well, actually 5 minutes to go in terms of regular time in this one, we have to look ahead to the last game of the day, which will be between Mount Pleasant and Boyz Academy. Mount Pleasant, of course, are reigning champions in this competition, and judging by how well they played in their last game, 4-2 victory over Portmore United, they could be in the running for that title yet again. But not all of Kingston Football Academy have anything to say about it, however. They started the season on fire and looked arguably the most complete team so far. Dispatched of Boyz Academy in their first game quite comfortably, 4-1, after going down early in the game thanks to a mistake at the back. Allowed Jaime Harris to tap home, but after that they were completely dominant and never really looked back. And this game against Montego United, they've had arguably an even better showing, scoring 5 here, being in complete control the entire game, apart from a 5-minute spell after Montego United's goal. Got some energy and some surge of confidence following that wonder strike from Christopher Allen, but never able to put it all together, Montego United. And despite the talent that they have available, despite the fact that there were promises of improvement, not just in terms of roster names, but in terms of continuity and coaching and strategy, it's not seemed that it's bore fruit quite as yet in terms of results. And in a results-based business, of course, if you don't get them, you're always going to be under fire. And Montego United, their supporters, though it is just an under 17 tournament, 18 tournament, they'll be looking.
Good move, Dominic. Good touch. Reach back.
They'll be looking at the players saying, you should be doing better. Because they know the talent that is available. Here's Conor Morris. He's out wide with Myers. A lovely ball there into the path of Khalid Fraser, who's way beyond his usual station. And it shows in that pass the lack of accuracy in that one. Myers, good turn there by Romy Henry to spin away from Crescendini Misado. And shouts of national from the supporters, recognizing his international accomplishments, Romy Henry. It's been phenomenal yet again today. Arguably the standout player from this game, really. And don't get me wrong, the goals by Tivario White, Robinho Morgan. Okay, Miles Hanna, of course, as well. They've been most definitely a reason as to why KFA are winning, but of course, chief among them being the control that they've had of the game, which has allowed them to have those goal-scoring opportunities. And Romy Henry has been the focal point of that. Must say, huge commendations to the young man. He's been brilliant today. And of course, the other goal scorer that I failed to mention a while ago was Robinho Morgan. Free kick comes in here. Looking to meet it is Morris, however couldn't. Here's Gladstone. Has a swing at it. And that's deflected wide for a corner kick to Montego United. Just a minute or two to go, and of course they'll be wanting, at this point, just a consolation. But here's a replay of that chance. Headed down by Clark, and Gladstone had a swing. That was deflected wide for a corner. Seems McLean will be going over to take this one after the shout by his coach to do so. McLean trying to set up a teammate there, but unable to do so. Now it's Gladstone. Oh, lovely turn there by Myers. Pump faked him well there. Oh, lovely switch of the play, aiming towards Clark, but that's cleared in time by Shaheen Bernard. Cornell College player there. It's Khalid Fraser. Just playing a bit further forward. McLean looking most likely for Garland Morris, but feeling that Usain Bolt wouldn't have gotten to that one. Just a bit too much pace on it. Cool, just throws that out wide to Malik Cameron. To Clark. Loses the ball. Now it's Fraser. Mesado turns away brilliantly. Fraser again, trying to find Mesado. He does. Can he square it back? And yes, he does. And despite being down 5 goals, he celebrates furiously, fist bumping the air there after scoring. Wonderful strike there by Mesado. Lovely well-worked play as well, must say. Good pass there by Fraser.
Come on, keep playing. Watch your back, watch your back, watch your back.
Henry. KFA. Just a few moments ago in this game.
Come on, lock it, lock it, lock it, lock it, lock it.
I have to say the attack has been quite special. They'll be thinking that it's just game manager mode now. 9 goals in the first 2 games, of course. Conceded 3 and 2 as well. Not what you want to see from the defense. Their back line is going to have to shore up moving forward, but 5 goals is always good to see for the attack. And he's Malik Cameron on the ball.
Watch your collar. Remember I put on the bib, so you can know you're the
The Miners gets it now. Switches the play to his counterpart there. Daly on the ball. Gets it out wide. KFA still, despite being 5 up, still looking to pile on, add further injury to insult here against Montego Bay United. Throw in taken here to Kishinro, who loses control.
Get it. Well done, Colin.
And Fraser leaves it for Allen. Looking for his teammate there, unable to find him, however. Michael Fogan just come on and has fought valiantly, but ultimately in a losing effort, however. Myers.
Look at the line. Well done.
Battery came on. Forgot to mention his substitution. In the grand scheme of things, however, don't think he'll mind too much. I think he'll just be satisfied with the win at this point. And now here's Cristiano Lawrence, of course, fought for the 4th goal with the penalty decision. Ball into the path of Michael Fogan there. Can he run that down? And no, we can't. Doesn't quite have the pace. And that will be a goal kick. And it could be the last kick of the game here. And Javier Cook just goes over slowly to take this. He knows the results wrapped up. 6 points from 6, 9 goals from 2 games for KFA. Dominant as ever. In control right the way through, and Romy Henry loses the ball to Fraser uncharacteristically there. has been a huge part of that, but he wins the ball back, and that's cleared by Cristiano Myers. Foul on Cristiano Lawrence, but the referee looks the other way, and it's White. Of course, scored from that penalty that we spoke of. Referee calls back the play for a foul on Kivari White. My apologies. Number 21 was Jeremy Darling, not Khalid Fraser. I guess I got them mixed up because of the complexion. But now it's Kamari McCoy over this free kick. Almost certainly going to just turn and just pass it back to Cristiano Myers, which he does. Just Cope on the ball. Ooh, lapse in concentration by the defense there, and it's Khalid Fraser. For some reason turns back, has a strike-up goal. And I think that had he looked up, he would have seen that at the first time of asking, Coke was off his line, but counts for nothing at the end of the day. Is Montego United run out 5-2 losers here against Kingston Football Academy, who were dominant right the way through. Unbelievable performance from the young men from Kingston, and I must say some impressive goals. I'm sure poor defending as well, but some impressive strikes. Chief among them being, of course, that first half classic thunderbolt from Christopher Allen. Vario White having a nice tidy finish of his own. Miles Hanna scoring 2 on the day, taking it to 3 in the tournament. He's currently the leading goal scorer, but coming up for us in the third and last game of the day in this 3-match day slate, we do have Samuel Taylor, who has a chance to get back in front and move ahead.